How's it going, everybody? I am DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at some more Midnight Club 2. Not gonna lie, this is my second time recording this because I experienced my first crash in this game, which is interesting. Like, I haven't had a crash in this game in the entirety of the time I've been playing it on the PC. Like, other than when I was playing it on the Windows 7 version, which was unstable for some reason. It's weird because the Windows 10 version seems to work pretty decently. Like, well, I know they're all the same version, just for some reason the game's less stable on Windows 7 from what I remember in comparison to Windows 10, which is interesting. But I experienced my first ever crash there, and the game literally just like loaded up for a second, and I was halfway through the race against these girls here, and it just like froze and immediately crashed the game to desktop. It was interesting. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But I remember, like, the thing I was talking about originally at the start of the previous attempt at recording this was I was talking about just how bizarre the game is when it comes to like what cars are fast and what cars are slow. Because if I was to give you this list of vehicles, the Ford Puma, the BMW M5, which is what I'm calling this thing, and the Dodge Viper, which one would you say is the fastest? You can probably guess where this is going. So most people would say Dodge Viper, BMW M5, then the Ford Puma. In this game, it goes BMW M5 is the fastest, the Ford Puma is the second fastest, and the Dodge Viper is the slowest. Now this is in terms of top speed, I should point out, but I really wonder who balanced this game. Like, I really wonder, like, who decided, oh yes, this would make sense. Like, I understand, like, they wanted to go for some, like, more European style vehicles in like the European area of the game, but it really confuses me as to why like Europe wasn't like the first area in the game, because that would have made far more sense to me, because like Europe cars are not typically like the sort of cars you get in this game. There's only really one supercar in this game, and that's the Veloci. So the fact that Europe doesn't really have that many like normal everyday like supercars, like, I mean, like, I guess you can argue that the Porsche 911 is kind of like an everyday supercar, but I would argue against that because like the Porsche 911 is a bit about, oh balls. I would say the Porsche 911, it's probably a bit too expensive to be considered to be like an everyday car, whereas like Japan has cars which are insanely quick. Like, they've really like good like tuner scene in Japan. Meanwhile in Europe, pretty much tuning cars is pretty much like illegal at this point, unless you're like AMG or like the BMW M division. So you have to have like basically like you have to have like the factory support these days pretty much for tuning to really be a thing in Europe. At least over in like England and like Ireland and all, like pretty much tuning a car basically is just going to nuke your insurance and make it cost a ridiculous amount to actually tune a car. Whereas in America you can tune the shit out of a car and nobody gives a shit. And in Japan, you must be able to do that as well, because the tuner scene in Japan, like, from what I've seen, is still mental even today. Like, I imagine in the early 2000s it was even more crazy. Oh, balls, pressed the wrong button. So, yeah, like, I find it bizarre that this game didn't start off in Paris, because it would make the most sense, because, like, I would say, like, you can't have, like, some people from Europe probably find this annoying, but I find, like, most cars which are kind of like low end are generally like European. I mean, when you think of like a Ford Mustang, like that's kind of considered low end in America, like as far as like sports cars go. Whereas like low end in Europe is pretty much like things like Fiesta STs. So yeah, like maybe that's not the best example, but I can't think of another American like sports car that's like lower end than the Mustang off the top of my head. Like the Camaro, the Mustang, the Challenger, like all those vehicles they're kind of like muscle cars, but these days they're kind of more supercars. And would you go away? Getting on my nerves. Just having that guy just ramming into me the entire time, that was pissing me off. But hopefully this thing's crazy top speed will help me out here. So let's just use that a bit here. This thing is easily able to do over 200 miles an hour, which makes it able to just clear this ramp with no issue whatsoever. And I've remembered from previous time doing this race, going this direction is faster, because literally straight line. Providing the car doesn't land awkwardly, that is. Come on, car. Oh, come on. God damn it. Okay, I think I screwed that up because that damn cap pissed me off. That was annoying. just having that like sirens going off continuously and just having a random enemy was just getting on my nerves. The cops weirdly in this game I think are more annoying than they are in like modern Need for Speed games. Like modern Need for Speed games, like their cops are shit. Like considering like they made the game like Need for Speed Most Wanted, like I'm honestly stunned at how shit the cops are these days in games. Like other than GTA pretty much has always carried forward with like brutal cops, but like in this game here I genuinely have more difficulty losing the cops in this game than I do in Need for Speed. Like Need for Speed 2017, what was it called? Payback? Yeah, Payback. Yeah, I remember playing that game and just being incredibly disappointed in the way they implemented the cops in that game. I'm really hoping in Need for Speed 2019 that their second attempt will be a lot better, because like I don't really count 2015 as like the first attempt, because that was more just like a showcase of what they wanted to do with Need for Speed in the future. But yeah, like, I'm really hoping like the game after Payback is going to be good, because Payback I honestly thought was a pretty big disappointment. Also, I find the main character incredibly annoying. Please go back to silent protagonists, because they were better. Trust me on that, they were better. Fucking Tyler Morgan just bitching and moaning all the time was really goddamn annoying. Also the dialogue, like, if you listen to what they were saying, you were literally just like face palming, just going like, who talks like this? Yeah, like, I've just ended up like just complaining about Need for Speed now, but that's because sadly Midnight Club is not really a thing anymore, which is tragic because it's been over 10 years since the last one, which is absolutely just insane to think of. I mean, the fact that it's been 10 years since Midnight Club LA is just crazy to me. Yeah, I'm just going to change this car to red because I'm really driving around in a pink car. So let's see, I have a choice here. Do I race against Ian or do I race against Stefan? Or Stefan, or I don't know, it's European, so it's one of those two. So Ian I think gives you a motorbike, and what I learned from driving the motorbike a bit more in LA is the motorbikes are kind of OP. They're crazy quick, and if you're able to avoid hitting shit, which is something I struggle with, but yeah, it still stands, they are incredibly quick. Like they're ridiculously quick. But I did try out his car on like a previous recording. Like I actually like, let's see, I was actually like playing the game a bit, and on a previous recording, like the game just didn't record the audio correctly. Like I was playing away at the game, and I was doing the races against this guy here, and for some reason like the audio just ended up like spiking for some reason, and I couldn't figure out like what the hell was wrong with it. And I drove his car, and I stopped the recording as soon as I started driving his car because I realized the recording was not going particularly well. Like I just realized for some reason, like I just had just a gut feeling like I should probably test this recording and make sure it's going all right. And I could just hear my voice was just like for some reason just unintelligible. Is that the right word? Illegible is like the word used for like bad handwriting. What's the word you use? Yeah, I can't remember the word. It was impossible to understand what the hell I was saying. So I figured I would just re-record like up to this section. Like this is as far as I've gone pretty much with the races in this game. So one thing I do have to say about his car, it handles as if there's a goddamn anchor in the back. It's like I'd forgotten just how bad that car is to drive. Like that is, like it feels like it's a drift car. It's honestly weird because like you turn right or you turn left, and the car just, the back end just slides around, and it feels like it pretty much goes like 90 degrees around a corner every single time you turn. It's ridiculous. It feels so stupid. This car here, on the other hand, though, is awesome. This car is insane. It's so goddamn quick in comparison to that thing. I kind of fucked up my start a bit there. Mistimed it. But I find it interesting that of all the racers in this game, this guy is the guy who has like the opening theme in the background of his races. Because like, if you've ever heard the opening theme for this game, then you know what I'm talking about. But why would they choose this guy out of all of them to have like the opening like theme song behind him like playing the race? Like it seems weird. Like why would you choose this guy out of everybody? Unless like the musician or something, or the composer for the music of this game, like was he like Australian or something? Because this guy here actually is like an Australian dude. He has like a interesting Australian accent. I'll say that. But yeah, I just find it interesting how this game decided to use like usually like I always imagine like the opening music is used for like the final race in the game or something, but for some reason midway through the game, just some random guy, not even like the boss of this level, you just end up getting the opening music play behind this guy, and you're just like, huh, strange. Is this guy supposed to be more important in the original draft of the game? Because right now, oh jeez, right now he's just kind of like a guy you have to just kind of like get past, and once you get past him, then you, yeah, it's done. That's just it done. It's not as if he reappears later or something. But you can see here, this car here is incredible. Like, I honestly am stunned at just how quick this car actually is. Like, the boost is a good car. This thing here, though, to me, it honestly feels like the Monstro, or is it the Monstro? I feel like I'm fucking up its name, but yeah, it feels like the Mazda RX-7 of Paris, because its handling is great and it feels quick. Well, I guess you can't call it like the City Turbo of this area. The City Turbo was a good handling car as well, from what I remember. Now we have to do this little area here, and turn. Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward section of race there, because you expect there to be another checkpoint to guide you where to go, but that was one of the things I really liked about old school Midnight Club games. You had so much freedom to choose where you wanted to go and how you wanted to get there. And that's something you just don't get in games anymore. In old games, you had the option of like making up your own route and finding your own way to get like around the track. But in more modern games, that's just not a thing anymore. Like if you play like even Midnight Club LA, like that game's so much more hand-holdy than this game. I guess you could say that's like the game's getting more advanced, but at the same time, you can't lost something, because I always just love the way that you can just find your own route and like try and find like the best way to get there, like in your opinion. And if you end up getting there after somebody else, then you knew, okay, my route was not the fastest. Now, we do kind of have games like this, or well, races like this kind of in like Forza Horizon 4, but they aren't really the same. Most of them are just cross-country races where you just like get to a point as quickly as possible. Now, in multiplayer they have these like free roam blitz or something like that. There, it's like a free roam rush. That's it. I don't know why free roam blitz came in my head. I feel like it's something else, but I can't remember what the hell that would be. So they have these things called free roam rushes. They have a checkpoint on one side of the map and a checkpoint on the other side of the map. You start from one, you have to head to the other. First one there wins. Seems easy. And it is pretty easy. Problem is, there's no diversity in the races. There's like 3 of them, and you repeat them over and over and over and over and over. It's really, really annoying. Like, I'm just like, it's not hard to put two checkpoints on the map and just say like, oh yeah, race between these. So why the hell didn't they just make a few different races just to keep things interesting? Yeah, so I'm going to turn right here, because I can't remember if you can actually jump across there. So I'm going to head this direction. It looks like you probably can, because that guy's just speeding towards there at max speed. Never mind, he fell off his bike. Okay, so where do I want to go to now? Up also. So, let's see, you need to take a right, then a left. This is the thing I find interesting about this game. Like, this is how I actually learned to navigate on like a map. That just... like, I know more about maps from playing this game than I do from actually like learning them in school and shit. Probably sounds stupid, but like I actually genuinely learned like how to navigate quickly on maps, like using like compasses and stuff like that there, just by like playing this game and like using like the arrow that they use in this game, like sort of like a compass. Like on like the top of the map being north, the bottom of the map being south, and just be able to navigate around the map just by like looking at the direction your compass is going, and just looking like, oh yeah, I had to go south, I had to go north. Oh jeez, that nearly went poorly. I have kind of gone like an awkward direction here, but yeah, I just always found that like that used to be more reasonable than going this way, because going this way you can see there's a lot of traffic. And that's something that honestly amazes me in this game from the PS2 days. Like, this is a PS2 era game and they're able to have this much traffic on the screen at once. That's pretty insane, like. That's not something that you would really expect from a game this old. I mean, like, I actually remember, like, Midnight Club 3, I don't think it had anywhere near the sort of, just, what's the word I'm looking for? Midnight Club 3, I just don't think had, like, the same level of, I can't think of the word I'm searching for here. But yeah, I'll try out his vehicle just to show you what it's like in comparison to that car there. You'll be able to see the handling difference immediately, trust me. So, Midnight Club 3, I think it lost something after this game. Like, Midnight Club 3 was still a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong on that. I still love Midnight Club 3. I sank a shit ton of time into that game. But, Midnight Club 3, I didn't put as much time into that game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, there it is already. You can see there that, like, whenever you just turn, like, the back end of this car, it feels like the brakes lock or something, and it just turns like it has an anvil in the back or something. Like, look at that. Like, that's not even me holding the handbrake or anything. That's just the car's handling. Like, why would you ever drive a car that handles like this? Like, whenever you have cars that hold their speed probably like 40% better, like the Bryanston V, why on earth would you drive the frippin' X? Like, why on earth would you drive this thing? Like, there's probably some people who absolutely adore this thing, and I'm just like, no, you're wrong. Because it's just not fun to drive. It just feels like a chore to drive. I mean, look at that. Like, I have to counter steer like hell in this thing here just in order to keep it under control. Whereas in the Ford Escort looking thing, I can just fling it into a corner. It won't slide unless I press the handbrake. It's just fine. This thing here though, I have to be so careful when driving, because otherwise I would just end up, well, I was going to say like wrapping around a tree, but this game, like, you couldn't really do that. And also, there really aren't that many trees in this game which are actually, like, indestructible. Damn it. One thing I do find interesting about Midnight Club 3 in comparison... God damn it. In comparison to this game here is, like, Midnight Club 3 went for licensed cars after this one here had unlicensed cars. And part of me wonders if that was a good decision. Because I actually kind of like I find these cars a bit more memorable than the licensed cars in Midnight Club 3. Now, don't get me wrong, Midnight Club LA, like, I think was a big step up from Midnight Club 3. Like, although one thing Midnight Club 3 did have over Midnight Club LA was it had 3 maps rather than just having 1. And that was something that was pretty awesome about Midnight Club 3 at the time. Like, this game here and Midnight Club 3 both had 3 maps that you could go to, which was pretty awesome. Like, that's something you don't really get in games anymore. Like, you don't really get 3 open world environments you can travel to, and like the ones in this game are pretty expansive, which makes them like interesting to explore. And I can't remember, is there a ramp for me to get there? I don't think there is. I'm gonna like knock this guy off his bike. See how easy that is. Like, that's the thing with bikes. Because of the way the AI is driving this game, it makes it so dangerous to drive. Because, Jesus Christ, this car even nearly rolls when it's going down slow. Holy shit. I'm amazed I managed to actually win that race with this thing. I mean, holy crap. It nearly rolled going around that corner. I think you saw that, but god damn. This car is ridiculous. But yeah, now I have the Monsoni. But yeah, I wonder if like it was a good idea or a bad idea for them to move away from unlicensed cars, because I think like they could have been a bit more creative with unlicensed cars and like been a bit more extreme with like the modifications and things. But then again, that probably would have taken a bit more development to like design the cars and like create multiple different types of cars and create like enough like body modifications, because like Midnight Club after this here became a game that like focused a lot on customization, because Need for Speed did. So yeah, it kind of made sense for them to go in that direction, but maybe like the licensed cars was like a choice for like business for them. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we're just trying to do Stefan's race here as well, because this guy here, he drives like a Lotus Elise thing. I think it's called the Allard, and I remember this thing being pretty quick. It's been a long time since I raced this guy though, so this should be interesting to see. But I remember this guy being like the most stereotypical like Italian/French guy ever. I can't remember exactly what he looked like, but I remember being stereotypical as hell. I remember just thinking it was funny. But yeah, on this thing here, I shouldn't really have too many issues considering this thing here is about as quick as the Monstro, but is just a motorbike, so it handles like ridiculously quick. Oh wow, that was not very long. He usually like lead you around for like a minute or two before. Yeah, this guy. I think he's French. I mean, what the hell is that guy? He looks like he's from the 80s. Oh, is this one? Oh, it's one of those races. Okay. Right, this should be interesting. So I have to. Which one's? Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to trial and error this a wee bit here, just trying to remember the best route to go. So, right now, I feel like going towards the one... Okay, I'm handling this shit right now. I feel like the one at the bottom might be one to get first. Hard to actually decide. I think, yeah, going for the one at the bottom I think is probably the best one to go for first, and then finish off. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, Let's do it. Because you get the one at the bottom done out of the road, and yeah, it's me, pro driving right there. If you get the one done at the bottom first, then that's it done. You don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to like come back to it at the end. Whereas if you go for the ones that are higher up, then you have to come back to this one later. So, let's see. Get these three, then head around to that one, and then that one. Okay. Seriously? Come on. Right, I've got like a plan in my head here, hopefully this actually works. I did kind of mess it up a bit at the start there, because I'm just driving like... I'm driving like shit right now. But if I'm able to get this right, I should still be able to win this here in theory. Because I'm going to be pretty much right next to the finish point whenever I get the last checkpoints that I need. So you can probably tell the kind of order I'm going for here, just getting like the further away ones and then finishing off with the close ones. It seems like the most logical way to pick them up for me. Let's see, I need to go to this one here. And then go this way here. Pick up those two and then up to the top left. I think I'm going to switch to a car if I don't win this the first time, because I am so focused on the map that I'm not paying attention to where I'm going on the motorbike. Which is not going particularly well, as you can clearly see. Like maybe it's being 100% just staring at the map and not paying attention to where I'm going. You can get away with that in cars. On motorbikes, you really can't. As you can tell from how many times I've fallen off the motorbike. So let's pick up this one first. Also, okay, my motorbike is like critically damaged now. That's not good. Okay, one turn. Oh yeah, that's right, they have nitrous as well, but I do have the ability to wheelie, which does give me a lot of speed, but I don't think it's going to be enough for this particular race here. Yeah, I'm going to switch to a car because the amount of crashes I had there, I would have won that going that direction easily, but I was just driving like crap. So let's go with this thing again and put it in red, because this was just always my go-to car in this game, because it was just so good to drive in comparison to the other ones. I even think the Allard, that thing there in front of me, was worse to drive than this, because this thing here was just so easy to drive. Jesus. The AI sometimes are just reckless as hell in this game. Oh, it's kind of weird to call AIs reckless. So I think this is probably a faster route to go this time. Less bullshit with turns and stuff. Just pretty much like straight to the point. And then straight down there, I think, and let's avoid that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's gonna work. But yeah, you can see this thing here is able to do over 170 mph. Like, this thing is as quick as the Monstro, but is better handling. Well, I say better handling, it's tougher. It can actually take a few hits more than the Monstro. The Monstro was an incredibly fragile vehicle in comparison to this thing. This thing here can actually take a beating, whereas the Monstro can't. It's so fragile in comparison to this thing. But I think I'm in a much better position this time to win this. Now I do know, like, I think the way I used to win this race as a kid is I used to actually finish with these checkpoints here, but I would always leave it so close to the end. Like, I would always like make it so difficult for myself to actually win this one and actually get it all done in one go, because I was just taking like the awkward routes. But I think there's a way to actually jump straight through and go into the pyramid. Just from from memory. Oh, there is, yes. Nice. I had a vague memory of that, but I couldn't remember if it was right or not, and that's bad. Okay, good. That didn't go as badly as it could have. So let's go around here and take the same route as last time. It says I'm in second place. I'm kind of surprised by that. I would have thought I would have been first at this point, because I don't think any of the other ones would be anywhere near the same point as me. The position of these checkpoints make them a bit awkward to pick up sometimes though. Let's use a bit of NOS to try and get a bit more speed. Jeez, that was lucky. And yeah, one bam out. Nice. Wonder what the game was talking about. I wasn't interested when I finished the race. But I wonder what the game was talking about, telling me that, like, oh yeah, you're not in first. Don't think that was right. So I think this is going to be one of the first races where we have a lot of the underground bullshit. I remember there's a few races in the game that are like this, and it should be pretty interesting to try and work this out. Yeah, I'm just going to avoid going up like the tram rail, because I remember there's like trams and stuff that go up and down it, and they can mess you up if you drive into them. See, so we need to go left here. Sorry if I'm just kind of like announcing what I'm doing here. It's kind of tricky to do a race you haven't done in years, like in the first go. Like the Ian race, like I had kind of done before, because as I was just like playing it and I was doing like a voiceover for it, but the voiceover got like fucked up somehow. So I was playing that one already, and I had played it already, but this one here I never touched because I just started a new game save and played the game again, which I have no problem with, because I probably played this through this like the LA part of this game like 4 times now, because I just enjoy that part of the game. I find it just like fun to play. It's weird. LA is pretty much like the introductory part of the game. Like it's the introduction to the game, like how the game plays, like and what you're actually doing. You don't really like it's interesting. You don't really consider LA to be like a serious part of the game. Like Paris is where the game actually starts to have a bit of difficulty. Although saying that, ice races the first time you do them are tricky, but the second you realize, oh yeah, just use the motorbike, it's easy. And I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Yes, I have. Ah, shit, this is bad. So yeah, I'm not good at collecting all the checkpoints, because one, that's a terrible way of phrasing that. I'm not good at like picking up on all of like the shortcuts and stuff like that, especially from that direction. I've never used that shortcut from that direction at this point. So I have made this a bit harder for myself, but considering the AIs are usually a bit crap, it should be relatively easy to make up for that. Also, it helps when the AIs tell you which way to go. Because I remember as a kid, I would always go the wrong way on this section of the game, and just get lost, and I was just like, where the hell am I supposed to go? Because the game is just, like, there's no like marker, there's no like waypoint, there's no driving line or anything for that to tell you where to go. It's literally just like trial and error, work it out yourself. It's one of the things I love about this game, but I remember being rage inducing as a kid. See how much more? Wow, I'm actually really near to the end. I was just like, how much longer is this race left? Because I feel like it's probably a decent amount long, or a decent amount longer, if that makes sense. Right, so we just need to collect this one, and get down the alleyway to the end. I haven't used NOS yet, so I'm going to save it until the last second, because I remember there's cars for some reason driving through this area. And there. Nice. I think that unlocks his car now. It did, yes. Okay, yeah, and his car's got a weird name, the Allard. Even though it's like a Lotus Elise. So, let's jump into this thing here and see what actually the handle's like. It's got a low top speed though. I mean, the car I was just driving can do 175 in a straight line. This thing here apparently can only do 160. So I'm curious to see if that's actually true, or if that's bullshit. Pretty much. And I feel like it's probably true. Given how slow it's actually accelerating right now. Huh. I have seen people use this car, like I was watching, like before I decided like make a wee series on this game, like I've seen, like I was watching like some other YouTubers like play the game and like their opinions on it, and like how far they'd gotten through it, and like what cars they tended to use. I've seen people use this car, but I have no idea why, because it seems slow. I mean, look at how much struggling to accelerate at this speed. And when I use nitrous, well, nope, can't even break 200. I know that the Bryanston probably won't be able to break 200 either, but that car is really disappointingly slow. Oops. Sorry. Some like party stuff going on in the house. Sorry about that. I'll probably have to end this this recording here now, because I think probably going to start hearing some like background noise, because I just realised people are in the house like doing a couple of things. So let's just try it. Yep, this thing here can do 201 miles an hour with boost. So yeah, why on earth would you use the LR? This thing here is a far better car. This car's awesome. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I will be moving on to Farid, which is, by the way, this guy has the most interesting character design I've ever seen in my life. And when I say interesting, I mean, like, I'm not sure if French people would be like I'm not sure how French people would react to it seeing it, because this is a game from the early 2000s. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting whenever you see what the guy looks like. If you've never seen this guy before, it would be very interesting to see him. Wait till you see. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say about that. But I think this guy's the last guy before you move on to, I think her name's Parfait. So yeah, we'll finish off Paris in the next video. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.